Hello Scorpio, so I'm doing your weekly tarot for June the 28th to July the 5th. As always, there's going to be timestamps in your description box below, just in case you feel like any of these particular oracle decks are not quite resonating for you this week, okay? It is a general reading, so only take the messages that resonate for you. Right, so I'm losing everything today, Scorpio. Okay, right, Scorpio. Doesn't really matter what spirit animal deck I use. You guys always seem to get the hawk or the eagle, like every single time, pretty much without fail. You've got the eagle. So this one says to keep your long-term goals in sight, maintain a clear vision of your aspirations and work steadily towards them. This focus will help you stay motivated and on track. Okay, so whatever you wish to achieve, you've got to stay focused. This is saying you cannot afford to get distracted, because distractions are potentially going to be quite costly. Okay, so for example, if your aspirations are to have a successful business, right, you're going to have that hyper focus on that. Ignore what the competition are doing, okay? Ignore what the haters and the naysayers are saying, all right? Ignore all of that and have this almost like tunnel vision, okay? Stay focused, stay on track. If your goals or your aspirations are to pay off all your debts, right? Hyper focus, cut out any and all unnecessary spending, okay? And stay on track. Whatever this is about specifically for you, and it's going to be different for every single Scorpio, the whole point is saying you can't get distracted. You have to stay on goal, okay? Or stay on target, stay on track. Now, the thing with birds of prey, if you've ever observed them hunting, it's actually really fascinating, right? So they will typically circle an area until something catches their attention. And then, of course, depending on the type of bird of prey, they'll hover over the animal that has caught their attention and they'll stalk it, okay? The animal on the ground doesn't have a friggin' clue that the hawk or the eagle is there. Completely oblivious, right? Silent stalking. And then when they know that their blow is going to land, that's when they'll strike. And they very rarely will miss their target, okay? So use that as a metaphor for what's going on with your energy this week, okay? Or for the energy that you're needing to embody this week. Stay on target. Be silent as well, Scorpio, okay? Because, again, this one's saying, look, not everything needs to be said, okay? Oftentimes, and I know it's really bad to think this way, right? But I mean, it's not really, okay? It's like it's human nature. When other people know what your plans are, you don't know what their intentions are towards you. Not always, okay? Not everyone has got good intentions, as we painfully are all too much aware, okay? What people don't know, they're not going to know what to attack. So be silent, okay? Go for your goals silently, all right? That's also the eagle energy. Obviously, we're going to find out more as we pull more cards. But as far as your first card goes, it is a good one, but it's also one that you get out quite regular. I don't know what it is, but you guys are very much in tune with like bird of prey type energy. I mean, it's suitable. It's definitely suitable for a Scorpio. But it's also quite amusing. And again, another thing about the eagle, I'm sorry to keep going on about it, that's actually one of the stages of a Scorpio's growth. Okay, so we all start off as that scorpion, and then we evolve into the snake, and then from the snake into the eagle or the dove, either or. And then from the eagle or the dove, sometimes to the phoenix. Okay, so this one is very much a focus on your eagle stage of awakening or development, if you will. Okay, you might well have already bypassed that particular stage, but this week, the lessons that you learnt while you were in your eagle stage are going to be relevant and appropriate for what unfolds this week. Okay, so like there's multiple different ways that you can read this energy. You have to take it for how it resonates specifically for you. So for some of you guys, you're gonna feel like you're coming into your eagle energy. Okay, you might have just made it out of the snake stage and moving into your eagle stage. For others, you're going to be like, you know what, I feel like I'm long surpassed the eagle stage, which is absolutely fine. Well, then consider what life lessons were learnt while you were in that stage, okay? Because it's going to be applicable this week. And then for your rune message, or for one of your rune messages, I've not shuffled through your deck yet. I'll get you a second one out. Is Wonyo. Which is the equivalent to, I would say, the Nine of Cups in traditional tarot, with a blend of like the Four of Wands and Six of Wands. Okay, it's very much about fun times. It's very much about stability, community. There's a celebration here also for some, and it says fun, joy, friendship, and rest. Okay, so after this week, you will be able to not just breathe a sigh of relief, but you've got something worthwhile celebrating coming through. Okay, so do make a point of celebrating whatever that particular achievement is that you have secured. Okay, it could be something quite big and life-changing, or it could be something, you know, small and seemingly minor. The energy here is saying, Scorpio, even if you think it's minor, it actually isn't, okay? Because it's Wonyo. And then you've also got Urus, which is the equivalent of the Five of Wands in traditional tarot, because it's all about the trials of strength, okay? And it says strength, endurance, vitality, and tiredness. Right? I feel that the combination of these two is saying, you know what, during your trials of strength, during your struggles and your difficulties, guess what you didn't do? You didn't quit. You didn't give up. You didn't buckle. You didn't surrender. You kept pushing through. Okay. Now, again, I'm reading that in past tense energy, but it could very much be present time energy. All right, so if you feel that this week that the pressure is a little bit too much, do keep this message in mind, because it's likely going to provide you with the strength that you're needing to persevere at this time. Okay, the whole point is either you didn't give up or you will not give up. Again, take it as it resonates. Providing you push through, you will see good results at the end of it. So, to break it down even further, Scorpio, this is saying that your struggles have not been in vain, or they are not going to be in vain. Okay? There is a purpose. I don't know what the purpose is, okay? I'm not psychic. I am an intuitive. And you know what? I'm not one of these that pretends that I know everything about everything, because I bloody well don't. And I'm the first to put my hands up and say, you know what, I've experienced that before in my life. I still to this day don't know the reason behind it, okay? However, with that being said, there is a purpose behind it all, okay? It's not going to be immediately obvious. It might be something that reveals itself next week, maybe next month. Who knows, right? Who can really say? But there is a purpose to it. One way or the other, there is a purpose to it. So even when you're feeling tired, exhausted, feeling like you can't push forward anymore, it is imperative that you keep going, okay? Because it absolutely is going to be worth it, okay? Every step of the way, it's going to be worth it. I mean, what is it that they say as well? Anything that's worth having in life, it's not going to come easy, yeah? And Scorpio, yes, you do know what struggle is. I mean, you're a friggin' Scorpio, right? Ruled by God of the underworld. That's not a bad thing or an evil thing, okay? And here's the thing, people say Pluto's not a planet anymore. Yeah, it is. It is. It's still a planet. It's very transformative, okay? And when you look at this energy, that's Plutonian. Like, there's no question that that's Plutonian energy. Yes, this one's ruled by Mars, which is also your other ruler, but when you combine them all, right, it's Plutonian. Very transformative, very, very powerful. What are birds of prey known for? Being powerful, right? Happiness, joy, growth, and expansion. So I feel here that this week might feel a little bit intense, okay? But again, that's not a bad thing. It's intense because it's transformative. And I also feel as well that the power and the control is being put back in your hands, okay? Something is back within your control. I'm not on about a person, right? I'm on about yourself, your own energy, your life, your direction in life. Because again, when you really look at the cards, okay, oftentimes you'll find that the biggest struggle of all is usually, with being a Scorpio, it's usually going to come from other people trying to fuck your shit up, right? All any Scorpio really wants is just to be left the fuck alone. Like, literally. So 9 times out of 10, this Uru's energy is going to come from an external source, right? Someone else trying to gain power and control over Scorpio. Never works out well. Never, ever, ever works out well. So again, maybe here someone this week is going to receive a stark reminder that Scorpio cannot and will not be tamed, okay? I'm not going to take anything off the table here. I've got to give you all of the messages that I can see. And again, like this could come in through so many other different ways as well, right? Bottom line is, yes, sometimes in life we have to fight for what it is that we want, okay? And that's just an unfortunate fact of being on this planet. Right, I wish it could be lollipops, sunshine, rainbows, and fucking daffodils all the time. Maybe not daffodils, sunflowers. Sunflowers, they're a lot nicer than daffodils. No offense to anyone who, you know, if daffodil is your favorite flower, great. Going off on a tangent, but you know what I mean. Yeah, life's challenges. We'll never escape life's challenges. This week, though, those particular challenges seem to be particularly testing, okay? Might throw you back mentally by a couple of years, as in a little bit triggering over certain situations or incidences that might have happened to you a couple of years ago, okay? But again, it's going to work out in your favor, Scorpio. Okay, so please don't lose sight of that message, no matter how difficult things might be this week or how intense they might be this week. Again, move in silence, persevere, okay? Be determined, even though you're fucking exhausted, be determined to see it through, and see it through you will, okay? Right, so let's take a look at your healing crystal. I'm going to leave Huanyo up. No, I'm not. I'm going to leave it there. I keep forgetting. That's dodgy. It was me that cut them, and I've not cut that one properly. I cut it sort of slanted, so it's not quite sitting right. Anyway, healing crystal message. We'll see how all of these pieces of the puzzle will click together for you. I'm going to use one of my brand new article decks on you guys in a minute as well. I've only just bought it. I've had a go on it. It's absolutely phenomenal. I'll show you in a minute. Let's not jump ahead. Oh, you've got interesting. You've got a different one this week. This one is Septardian. There we go. Septardian. Okay. If I've mispronounced that, then do feel free to correct me. It's not a problem. I've never heard of this one before. It says direction fearless. Look at that. And communication. So known as the Dragon Stone. Yeah, it does look quite reminiscent of a dragon egg there, doesn't it? Okay, Septardian instills fierce confidence and self-esteem, especially in front of an audience. Interesting. So, fierce confidence and self-esteem. As much as it improves your public appearances, it also protects your privacy. That's a really hard balance to strike. Okay, so boundaries are going to be required. Guarding your secrets and valuing your inner space. Incredibly grounded and connected to the earth, Septardian can pinpoint illnesses in the body and focuses on listening to the body's needs by building a strong relationship with it. Okay, so it's already quite a loaded message. The name Septardian comes from the Latin word septum, or seven, signifying the pattern of seven on the exterior of the crystal. Oh, well, colour me intrigued. It's associated with the signs Taurus and Sagittarius and the planet's sun. Okay, so let's break this one down. The fact it resembles a dragon egg, first and foremost. Dragon symbology in tarot or in the spiritual world symbolizes strength and power, absolutely. But it can also symbolize those who are feeling persecuted as well, because when you consider the legends, all of the legends of, especially like the Western dragons, right? They were always hunted. In every fairy tale, in every folklore, they were always hunted, okay? Eastern dragons, I think, had a much better deal, because my understanding of the Eastern dragons, they were revered, okay? That they were seen as magical, powerful beings, right? But in the Western culture, they were hunted, right? So take the symbology of the dragon message specifically from your own culture, okay? So with me being Western, right? Because I'm Celtic blood, so it's going to be Western. Well, that would be persecution, hunted, yet also powerful, right? If you're of an Eastern culture, again, the meaning for that dragon energy is going to be different for you, all right? Egg, obviously, new life. It's very, very powerful symbolism of, okay, Scorpio, you've got to protect this. You've got to protect your new life. You've got to protect what it is that you're about to hatch. Okay? The message here about your confidence and self-esteem. So consider this. If you're out and about by yourself and someone's watching you, what would their assumptions of you be? So if somebody was going to do something a bit nefarious, they're going to be looking for a bit of an easy victim. Okay, so obviously don't be distracted, stay focused, walk with purpose, walk with confidence. Basically, let your energy speak for you and don't walk like you're distracted and not paying attention. Okay, I'm forever saying that. When you come from a place of confidence, and if anybody has got bad intentions towards you, you're going to look like you're more troubled than what it's worth. Okay, that's exactly the impression that you want to give anybody who might have bad intent, right? Now, when it comes down to like public appearances and stuff, if there's something important coming up which sees you being in front of a lot of people, you might not be feeling very confident at that. Okay, so this one is saying, okay, so the way to get back in touch with your confidence is to remember your power, your true power. Okay, that's going to help you to communicate a lot easier to others. Now, it's also mentioning that maybe something's going on with your privacy. Okay, maybe someone might be taking a bit too much of an interest in you, in your business, and that there's a bit of a breach of privacy there. Somebody could be digging. Okay, again, I'm not going to take anything off the table. If you suspect that someone is digging into your business, as in, let's imagine you've cut someone off, right? Let's just say you were friends with someone and you've had to cut them off. Or like a family member and you've had to cut them off, right? They could be digging and invading your privacy in order to get information on you, because the other thing that was mentioned here was communication. So if you've made it crystal clear, I do not want communication from this person, you've shut everything down, they are digging and looking into ways of how to re-establish that communication with you, aka boundary stomping, right? So your new life is needing to be protected. Remember, with that egg, okay? You have to protect your privacy, guard your secrets, and value your inner space. If you get a cold caller at your door, you know what they're like. They start asking you all these questions, and they always turn up when you're at your tiredest, and you know you're not expecting it. And they're asking you all these questions. Oh, what's your full name? Oh, you don't have to tell them a fucking thing. Okay? Just close the door, lock the door, walk away. You don't have to tell anybody anything. The reason why I'm putting such a fine point on it, Scorpio, is because there's something going on here with your privacy and how you're needing to guard your own space and guard your privacy. Okay, if you're out in the public eye, okay, because again, I don't know who exactly watches these tarot readings. For all I know, you could be somebody massively famous, or you could be well on track to becoming an individual who ends up being massively famous, right? Again, I simply just don't know. I have to read the strongest overall messages here. So if you know that you are either already famous or on track to becoming incredibly famous, protect your privacy. Is there anything floating around out on the internet or anywhere else that you do not want anyone else to see. If that is the case, get it removed now, okay? Same deal, right? Because people are going to be really interested in you, in your private life, in your secrets, okay? You know how it goes. That there's a lot of assumptions out there that famous people don't deserve privacy, which I completely disagree with. Everybody deserves their privacy, whether they're famous or not, right? Everybody. So yeah, like there is so many messages here for this one. Ultimately, protect your space, okay? Let's imagine you have put in applications for a new job. Have you checked your social medias, if you have any? Because again, not everybody is on social media. Before you hand in those CVs, double check through all of your social media and make sure it's entirely on lockdown. Because potential employers or current employers, they abso-fucking-lutely do search through social medias. They absolutely do. Every day of the week. In fact, some companies have got dedicated teams specifically to investigate potential applicants, right? Like, it's not coming from a place of paranoia. That is a fact, okay? So again, make sure that there's nothing out there online that potentially might bite you in the ass later on unnecessarily, okay? When it mentions illnesses in the body, now this is the one where I need to be super, super careful here, because obviously I am not a health professional at all, right? If you suspect there's something going on that isn't quite right, get it checked out, okay? I fully understand and appreciate in some countries that's a lot harder to do than in others, okay? Regardless, get it checked out. If you suspect anything at all going on within your own body, get it checked out, okay? Do not ignore it. Do not leave it. Don't make my mistake, okay? Really don't. If you leave it, stuff like that, you can't leave it for too long, because it'll end up so much worse, okay? You have to listen to your body's own needs, and the only way you can do that is by building up a strong relationship with it, okay? And then, of course, the number 7. Number 7 is, I mean, there's a lot going on with the number 7. They do say that it's the most powerful number in the universe. The debate's open on that one, okay? But I personally have found that actually, yeah, there is something there to the number 7. So you might find yourself being bombarded with 777, 777, quadruple 7 this week. If so, Google healing angel number 7 or 777 or 777, whichever sequence that you're seeing, because there's going to be additional messages there for you, okay, Scorpio? Right, oh my god, I did mention that I didn't cut that word properly. Right, so in no particular order, I'm going to pull a couple of cards for you from this brand new oracle. This one, I will show you which one it is. It's this gorgeous Arcana Folia oracle deck. This is just like a regular print, right? So it's not an indie print or anything like that. You can pretty much pick it up anywhere. Obviously, I'm not affiliated with any sellers for this deck. It's just a brand new deck. You're the first person or the first people that I'm using it for, okay? So yeah, let's see. Change. Fear is not a good advisor. That's your strongest overall message, okay? Now, remembering that courage is not the absence of fear, right? It's feeling the fear, but weighing up the possibilities and then doing it regardless, okay? It's feeling the fear and doing it because you know that you're onto something here. See with that being like a ship's wheel, right? It's a message about being the explorer, all right? There's something out there for you. You know it. You can feel it. Or you feel like you're getting close, okay? Then you also have reflection. Reflection reveals who you are, okay? So what is it that's being reflected back at you? We'll take a look in a minute. Self-care, heal, repair, and reconnect. So there's a message here about healing, and I feel that this is either mental healing, emotional healing, it could be physical, okay? You've done the spiritual work. Have you been ignoring the physical healing or the mental healing? You can't really have one without the other. And then belief. Examine existing beliefs. So are your beliefs, are they still in alignment with you? Or are you finding that you no longer believe certain things that you used to believe? That's okay too. And then you've got thoughts. Cultivate your ideas. So yeah, make your ideas real. Okay, this is saying, right, we're going to move past the planning stages now, Scorpio. You've got some sort of plan. Now is the time. This is the week for you to put that plan into motion. Okay, and you are going to have to be brave and courageous in order to put this plan of yours into motion. Are your beliefs towards self in alignment with someone who is likely going to succeed? Or are there any negative thoughts that you have about yourself here that would cause a potential clash? Do you know what I mean? And then you've got joy with the ladybird or the ladybug, depending on where you're from. Enjoy the little things. Yeah. Enjoy the little things. It is often the little things in life that do give us the most joy, right? No grand gestures required here, Scorpio, at all. So, yeah, let's take a look. What is this change for Scorpio, please? What is this message of change? Interesting. Page of Cups and a Queen of Wands for change. I feel here, because that Page of Cups can be quite a sensitive energy. It's sensitive, it's idealistic, it's very, very curious. It's kind of like the wanderer. Like, I wonder if. I know oftentimes it's associated with like apologies and love and romance. The context of this is coming out as someone wondering if their idea is going to work. And the only way to find out, remember, fear is not a good advisor. The only way to find out is to actually try, is to actually start with this Queen of Wands energy. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, okay? This one's saying, okay, time to get started, time to get going, Scorpio. This is a very self-assured energy, okay? It's very, very creative, very optimistic, fiercely independent, right? And just a doer. It's very much a self-starter, okay? So the only one who can start this is you. and it's tied into change. What is it that's being reflected back at Scorpio? Oh, whoa, fucking hell. One of them cards was the Tower, but they also both came out off balance. If you just give me a second, Scott, it's landed on the floor. All right, hold on. Okay. There it is. Right, so it's being reflected back at you at this time. I do apologise, Scorpio. I was not expecting the cards to behave in such an abrupt manner there. The Four of Pentacles off balance with the Tower also off balance. There's your Uru's energy right there with the Five of Wands, right? So it's being reflected back at you, Scorpio. Are you making something a little bit more complicated here than what it actually needs to be? It's possible that that is what's being reflected back at you here. So the general consensus this week, Scorpio, is to keep it simple. And they're also saying it takes as long as it takes as well, right? So don't be putting any kind of time scale or anything like that on yourself, right? Yes, you do want to make good use of your time, but you don't want to shorten the length required to do something. Like you don't want to cut it too short. It takes as long as it takes. Patience is definitely going to be required as well. What's also getting reflected back at you is you could be getting frustrated at how long something is taking, okay? And that's fine. Just try to remember that you're in control, you're in charge, you set the pace, you set the tone, okay? Keep it simple. Keep it simple. Oh, Scorpio. Let me just clarify that Five of Wands there a minute, because there's something else that wants to come through with this one, especially with that card potentially coming out twice. What else is this Five of Wands trying to say that is being reflected back at Scorpio, please? That Tower coming out off center is all to do with averting disaster, by the way, okay? That's having like a good nose for trouble and being very good at dodging trouble, right? Okay, this Five of Wands as a Page of Cups off balance for what's being reflected back at you. I feel like there's old behaviors that are being... So someone around you this week, Scorpio, is demonstrating some of your old behaviors that were unhelpful, that were potentially quite damaging. Okay, that might be a little bit triggering. Three of Wands. It's like realizing exactly how far you have come on your own personal journey, because it's like you're meeting the unevolved version of, right, who you used to be within another person. That's also what's being reflected back at you. That's always spooky when that happens. I think, honestly, Scorpio, I think that's only ever happened to me like twice. And I'm old. I'm really, really old now, right? And I think that that's only ever happened to me twice in my lifetime. It's spooky, right? When that happens, there's the most... It's uncanny. So you will end up being able to predict this person, what they're going to do next because of that. It's not you judging them by your own alt standards, kind of, but not, right? It works on a much deeper level than that. It's the most bizarre thing. But it's going to be tangible evidence for you about how much you have actually grown, how much you have actually evolved, right? And there are certain skills and traits here as well, Scorpio, that you've never forgotten, you've never you've never let go of. Certain survival skills here that you picked up on during your worst years. Do you know what I mean? So if you're someone like me, and there were quite a few, a couple of years where they were extremely questionable, very, very dangerous, and you had to learn certain survival skills here. Those survival skills that you picked up back then are coming into good, valuable use this week. Because you're not naive. Okay, Page of Cups off balance. You're not naive. You're not daft. You're not stupid. Yeah? Okay, that's quite interesting. You need to let me know how that one plays out, Scorpio. If, of course, this is your reading, which it's not going to be for everybody, and that's absolutely fine. So, yeah, cultivate your ideas. We don't really need to clarify this one, right? Because you've already been told here, Scorpio, like, as long as you put the work in now, as long as you don't quit or give up or anything like that, as long as you persevere, you're going to be absolutely golden. And see, with that summer hat or that gardening hat, they're also saying here, Scorpio, to enjoy the process where possible. Enjoy the adventure where possible, okay? Enjoy the little things. Yeah, there's like gratitude, attitude. You know, the ladybug or the ladybird are very, very lucky. Even more so if you see them IRL. Okay, especially in this day and age where everyone's chucking around bloody pesticides like it's nothing. Yeah, if you find ladybirds in real life, that's particularly lucky. Absolutely enjoy the little things. It indicates that life, I was literally about to say, it indicates that life is about to get really good for you, Scorpio. And then look what card came jumping out the deck. I hadn't even asked a question. The Ten of friggin' Pentacles. The epitome of success, okay? Wish is coming true, basically. Wish is coming true. Self-care. Tell us about this heal, repair, and reconnect. I'm certain somebody's trying to reconnect with you, Scorpio. And again, like, it's up to you as to whether or not you actually reconnect with that person. But remember what I said earlier about how, oh yeah, it was with that dragon egg message, isn't it? The Sedipatine or something. Septarian, that's what it was, the Septarian message. Yeah. I'm gonna ask, is somebody trying to reconnect with Scorpio, please? Because I'm certain, I am a good 90% certain. A Chariot and the Four of Wands, that'll be yes and yes. So in both scenarios, someone is trying to reconnect with you. Okay, could be a Cancerian, could be an Aries, doesn't have to be. Basically, what they're hoping for, and you don't have to do this, Scorpio, right? If you don't want to reconnect, if you know who this is and you do not want to reconnect with them, you do not have to, right? Don't do anything that goes against your own wishes and your own free will, right? I kind of feel like whoever this is, Scorpio, they've got a bit of a fantasy here that you're going to run off into the sunset together. Or that you can not just reconnect with each other, but like move in with each other. You move in with them, or them move in with you, whatever. Okay, and everything's gonna be hunky fucking dory. Okay, I mean, Again, depending on who exactly this person is, you're gonna, do you know what I mean? It's like different Scorpios are gonna feel differently about this. Some Scorpios are gonna be overjoyed and they'll be like, fuck yeah, I'm really glad this person wants to reconnect. Then that's fantastic news for you, right? If you're already suspicious and you're like, I think I know who this is, and no, I put over my dead body, then absolutely do not be pressured into reconnecting with this person. Okay? You got to take it as it resonates. Ten of Swords at the bottom of the deck. That's why you've got to feel out the energy. You've got to feel what is going on. I thought that that would be the case. The vast majority of you are like, I know who this is. I know what they want, what they're about, and not a fucking chance. And that's absolutely fine. This one's saying, Scorpio, it's time for you to do the healing work. Obviously, if you've not done it already, on the damage that this person did to you. Now, the fact that we've had messages about like your physical body as well. Has this person hurt you? Like physically hurt you? If so, keep them the fuck away from you. Forever. Okay? Because if they've done that before, chances are they'll do it again. You know how it goes. Or maybe they made you incredibly ill through the constant stress, through the constant trauma. Maybe they've caused some kind of chronic illness here. It's very, very possible. Again, I'm not going to take anything off the table, right? If that is the case, Scorpio, you do not, under any circumstances, need to allow this person back into your sphere of influence in order to do more harm. You have to put yourself and your safety, your security and your privacy first. Every day of the week. No excuses. Right? Belief. Let's just examine existing beliefs for Scorpio, please. Oosha. Oh, okay, the card of beliefs, the Hierophant. Interesting. That's also models, ethics, religion, spirituality. Stay true to your models and ethics. These ones are ever so slightly off balance. Nine of Cups off balance and the Two of Pentacles also off balance. Right. Yes. This is someone, I'll tell you, Scorpio, someone's likely going to try and make you feel bad for your decision here on not allowing a certain person to reconnect with you. That there is someone trying to go against your models, your ethics, your rights to protect yourself, right? They're trying to get you to change your mind here. It's almost like, kind of like a bit of a double bluff, almost. Okay. So they know that you're set in your ways. They know that you're not going to listen. So it's likely they send someone else your way. Could be a Pisces, could be a Capricorn, could be a Taurus. Doesn't have to be. It could be any sign. Likely going to send this person your way and go, oh, Scorpio, you know, you really should reconnect with such and such. You know, you really should make up with them. You really need to change your way of thinking, Scorpio. Oh, Scorpio, you need to let go of the past. How many times? How many times you already heard that? You need to let go of the past. The fuck? Really? When we've already had the message here about physical harm? Really? Let go? Nuh-uh. No. No, 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 no. This is your state of inner peace being disrupted. Okay? Temporarily. Because it's Two of Pentacles, so temporarily, you bounce back again like that. Okay, because you can see the game that's being played here. You can see it word for word, and there is no way you're going to allow anybody to have you sit there going, oh, well, maybe they mean it this time. Maybe they've changed, right? We all know how that actually ends up going. You were told at the start of this read, do not get distracted. This is a distraction. This is the exact distraction that Spirit was warning you about right at the start of your reading. You cannot afford, with that egg energy, you cannot afford for somebody to come along and crack your metaphorical egg. It's far too fucking precious. Far too precious. And if even there is a tiny wee hint of risk of that happening, they've got to stay away. Right? Strongest overall message for the week here is the Knight of Pentacles. So slow down, stay calm. Whatever happens next, Scorpio, just stay calm. Being prepared for any and all eventualities, but without it consuming your every thought, okay? Because the Knight of Pentacles energy is very slow, steady, careful. They're very deliberate. They're very methodical, okay? They want to get it right. They want to make sure that they're doing a good job. And they're not going to achieve that by charging through or by rushing around, okay? They can only achieve doing a good job by paying attention and by slowing down and taking their time, right? A Knight of Pentacles doesn't budge for anybody. They do things in their own sweet-ass time. And that's your strongest overall message for this week, Scorpio. You set the pace. You set the tone. Okay, there's no debate. No debate at all. You have a healing message for Scorpio, please. I do apologise for the sound of an upset cat outside my bedroom door. He can't make his mind up, Scorpio, if he wants in the room or if he wants to leave the room. And of course, with this being a reading, I like the atmosphere to be nice and chill and peaceful, right? Which means I have to leave the door shut. So it's only for another couple of minutes anyway. I'll let him back in a minute. Right. But he is going to shout outside that door. Right. Past life, present power. That's your healing message. Past life, present power. What's this whole reading been about, Scorpio? Your own power. The healing of past life issues can arise at any time. Bingo. And that's not just lifetimes that you lived before this incarnation. I always read past life issues as can be childhood issues, teenage year issues, anything traumatic that happened to you in this lifetime, right? They can arise at any time. Now, what was it that we said about that eagle energy as well? There's something happened when you were in your eagle phase. Could have been a couple of years ago. And it might crop up again this week. So your reading has literally come full circle, Scorpio. So past life issues can arise at any time. Fortunately, we don't have to see that past life or know the exact details for the healing to happen. Everything we need for healing is at our disposal now in this lifetime. Okay, so if this is about something that happened in this lifetime but several years ago, You still have all of the tools that you need right now in order for the healing and recovery to happen. Okay. However, knowing that past life patterns are arising, we can help. That can help us to understand why an issue seems so ingrained in us or another. It can also help us experience spontaneous compassion that frees us from judgment and creates space for healing. So free yourself from judgment of self, Scorpio. That's it. And I know it's a lot easier said than done. But oftentimes, especially those who have been through something really quite traumatic, we typically tend to blame ourselves. Okay? So let me tell you now, if this is something that happened to you when you were a Page of Cups, aka when you were a child, that was not your fault. Right? So you can free yourself from that self-blame. Because the blame doesn't lie with you. And then straight away, you're going to feel well and truly like you are on that path of recovery and healing. Okay? This article brings the guidance that you are working on an issue that has roots in past lives. As you continue to heal through this process, you will free yourself from constraints on many levels and experience a karmic clearing, which is like a soul lesson clearing. The challenge you may now be experiencing will be so worth the effort required to move through it. If you are wondering whether your heartfelt desire to walk a particular path is related to your soul evolution and life purpose, then the answer is yes. You know what they just said there, Scorpio? You are living your soul purpose. You are already living your life purpose. All right. Wow. I mean, whew, I'm a little bit taken aback by that message there, Scorpio, because it was quite a potent one. But yeah, you don't need me to break that down any further for you, Scorpio. It's done a fantastic job there of literally explaining itself. Yeah. We don't want to squeeze too much out of the tea bag. Ooh, okay. Yeah, okay. Karma will kick their ass and shut the fuck up. Silence is required. I told you. Do you remember right at the start? Move in silence. Yeah. Interesting. Okay, and a group of motherfuckers can help you. So a group of people are pulling together in order to help and support you here, Scorpio. Okay. But yeah, that is what I have for you guys today. I genuinely hope that that reading has been helpful. Of course, if it has been helpful for you, Scorpio, then I definitely would appreciate a cheeky wee like on the video. Better yet, you could consider subscribing to my channel as well. It would be absolutely fantastic to have you joining our wonderful community over here on YouTube. It's absolutely free. There's no membership fees or anything like that. Okay, it's completely free to join our fantastic community. For personal readings with me, my website is phoenixkeiatarot.com. The link for that is in my description box below. Thank you so very, very much for watching. Love you all so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.